Welcome to Transitions. I'm your host, Antoinette Zloty. Hair tells us a lot about people. Hair has different textures, colors, and lengths. It can also be the cause of a lot of anxiety for many of us who try daily to get it looking just right. On today's show, we're discussing the topic of hair. There are so many things to talk about on this subject, but today we will speak about hair loss, offer some tips on wearing a wig or a piece as it's now called, and explain how you can donate your hair through a program brought to us through the Canadian Cancer Society. In the past, some hair types were regarded as more desirable than others. Products were created to enable people, men and women, but especially women, to change their natural hair characteristics. Now, people have the choice to create whatever looks they want. Some people have chosen to wear wigs, and not because of their hair loss. Many see the wig as an accessory, and in the same way that we see makeup, shoes, or jewelry, and we use these things to help us to feel different, special, or unique. My first guest, Mary Forbes, did not lose her hair because of hereditary condition or a medical condition, but because of treatments designed to prolong her life.
In 2010, I was diagnosed with cancer, and so after I had my tests, etc., and they found out it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, they began chemo. And at the time, my doctor met with me and said that I would be losing my hair, that it would be gone for the duration of the chemo, but it would grow back later, and it would grow back different. It would be a different color and a different texture. Now, beforehand, my hair was brown, and now it's gray, and it was a softer hair. Now it's a coarser hair.
What period of time did this all happen?
Well, you know, I cannot quite remember the scenario, but I can remember standing in front of the mirror and pulling out great gobs of it, and then I decided that I would shave it off because it would be easier that way. Right. So I shaved it off, and it was a funny experience taking it out of your head because you didn't feel anything. There is no feeling when you lose your hair and if you take it out. But I shaved it off, and it made it easier, actually.
I think more and more people are learning ahead of time about chemotherapy and the effects that it has, and it's really great that you had such a good accepting attitude to it.
Yeah, and I got a wig, and it was a lovely wig, and I wore that, and I felt very comfortable with the wig once I got it. They have a good program there, as I'm sure they do everywhere that cancer care is active. And they were very supportive of me. And so were my friends. They visited me, they sent me cards, they sent me flowers. Nice. Yes, and my daughter cooked for me all the time. My husband cleaned house all the time. So they were really behind me, and that was a great help. If you want to avoid that, because there are some women who have said, no, I'm just going to be seen without my hair. This is part of my life. It's a transition that I'm going through, and that's okay too. And there were ladies who, when they got their chemotherapy, were like that. You know, they just came. They said that they didn't worry about it, and that was that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So, and
well, in these winters here in Manitoba, we do try to wear head covering just to keep our ears from freezing and things like that. So certainly, I imagine that there are times when you'll see people on the street and you won't necessarily know that there's
right.
any hair loss at all.
Exactly.
But it is an individual choice, isn't it? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I know. I went with a hat or a wig all the time because I felt more comfortable
Yeah, okay.
and a little less on display, so to speak, although it wasn't a big deal, but still, when you're out in public, you do like to present yourself a little bit.
So you have a very positive attitude.
Well, I kept my positive attitude. I said I was going to come through this,
Yeah.
and I did.
Wonderful.
And I'm very
wonderful.
grateful for that, very grateful. I had a
That's
wonderful
great.
oncologist and her staff. They were just with me all the way.
That's
Friends and family with me all the way.
well, you know, I think I have to agree with you there because there are kids who are actually even donating their hair as well
Yes.
to
Yes.
make wigs for other children
That's
or
right.
adults, and these are kids who get to be quite very good people in the community too, because they're community conscious and they're thinking about others. So
That's right.
that's very, very good.
It is.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so
Well-
much for coming in today. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate the fact that you were able to share with our viewers your story.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.